I bet you know your favorite way to learn something. Maybe it's by listening to a podcast, skimming a couple of articles on the topic, reading a book, going to a live lecture, taking a master class, talking to a knowledgeable friend, playing your way through an app like Duolingo, attending a conference. The point is, we're all pretty different when it comes to our favorite way to take in information, the way that really helps it sink in. For me, it's often about visuals and color, though I do like audio too. Dating all the way back to my high school years when I created my own visual note summaries of the semester for every class before finals. I enjoyed reading through all my notes and condensing them into a couple of brightly colored pages. Once I'd done that, I barely had to study those highlight reels because the process of making them had done most of the studying for me. Honestly, I looked forward to exam week because I could take my exams and look at my notes for the next day more quickly than I could get through the work of a normal week of school. I actually had more free time when we had big tests, and I enjoyed my review process. Today on the pod, as many folks may be headed into a unit or term review, just as student focus is already taking a left out of school city toward vacation land, let's talk about an easy way to give students agency over their review. Any review. Welcome to the Spark Creativity Teacher Podcast, a podcast for English teachers looking for more. More creativity, more engagement, more joy, and no more scripted curriculum, lesson planning ruts, or boring book lists. I'm Betsy Potash, and I'm honored you're trusting me to help. You're not alone on this creative journey anymore. Today's idea is simple. Let students review in the way that works for them. With a review choice board, you provide agency through options for your students, walking them through ways to review and retain information, and then giving them the freedom to pursue a route that they're excited about. So what might that look like? Here are some options. We're going to run through 6 possible squares on your review choice board. And of course, you may love some of these and want to add them, and you may have other ideas of your own. Your final review choice board doesn't have to be these exact 6, but maybe these 6 will provide you with inspiration, and maybe you'll want some of them exactly how they are. That's all up to you. So my first idea for you for your review choice board is the sketch notes version. This is kind of like what I did in high school. Creating sketch notes of what they've learned can help students review and think critically about what's most important and what they've studied. As they read through their handouts and their notes, look back at any digital content that was really important, and then remake meaning out of all that, they'll actually be making the information more memorable as they process it in a new mode. So for this option, you'd want to tell your students, look back through all your materials, concentrate especially on what you feel you really need to review, the things that you know least well, and then create a sketch notes version of that information, the key concepts. You can use colors, icons, text, and drawings to bring out meaning. This is going to be especially useful to you if you have done some experimentation with sketch notes during the term, which I hope you have. But even if you haven't, you could show some models, you could link to an introductory video on sketch notes, and some students may really take this and run with it. Like I said, I did this without any kind of specific lesson on how to do sketch notes. It just came kind of naturally to me to try to make my notes feel exciting to study. Okay, the next option is similar, but it requires a little more condensing of the information. So this option is the one-pager. The one-pager is going to carry similar benefits to the sketch notes version. It's going to help students reprocess the information, think about what's most important, go back through everything, make their own version of meaning out of it. But they're going to have to go that extra step to get it down to one page. This might be good if you're doing a review on a single unit or like a grammar set or a bunch of vocabulary that they want to remember, new writing terms or literary terms, stuff like that. But you could also do it for a whole term. They would just have to really get serious about prioritizing what's most important. I have even seen teachers do a one-pager as a final exam. So it is possible to ask students to look over a great quantity of ideas and information and really hone in on the most important stuff in their one pager. So whether you're reviewing a single unit or a longer amount of time and learning, the one pager is a viable option. So again, when you give students the directions, invite them to look back through all the materials that you're having them review. You can decide to have them concentrate especially on what they feel they know the least, or to sort of hone in on what they think is the most important, or to try to just like really cover it all. And then, you can give them templates, or you can just give them blank paper and let them create what they want to review from. Okay, option number 3 of our 6, have them create a review game out of the material that they want to review. Now, you could have students work on these with a partner or with a small group, or you could even have a student and a partner, both of whom want to create a game, each create a game over some part of the term and then play each other's game so that together they cover more of the information in their review. I have found it both entertaining and interesting and educational to create games over the last few years out of the things that I feel like students struggle with the most. And honestly, I probably understand these things much better as a result of making these games. And the process of taking something that's maybe difficult to remember or difficult to understand and trying to turn it into a game where you have to come up with like the most crucial questions and the answers to those questions and the way to explain how to play the game so that you get to all those questions and answer them correctly. Like, you're going to learn a lot through that process. And so I think this can be a really great way for students to review. It's fun, it's engaging, but it also requires them to like truly have a depth of knowledge over the material. Okay, next up, you probably know this is coming. If we were playing Family Feud, I bet you would have guessed that this would be on my choice menu. And that is the podcast version. So I actually feel so excited about this option because when students create a podcast version of their review, they suddenly have created an audio tool that they can access to review any old time. Like, they can be on their commute listening to their review. They can go for a run and listen to their review. They can review while they're packing up their school bag or making their lunch or brushing their teeth. Like, once they have created a podcast version of English, they just have this awesome resource. And for me, it's like that is what I love about podcasts. I can learn while I'm doing anything else in my life. And for them to learn that as pretty young students could be really helpful for them for all of their life, right? So this is going to appeal to kids who like learning by listening, who enjoy speaking, maybe a little bit more than writing, but it can really be great for anyone. So I think this is a very valuable thing to have on your choice board. All they need in terms of tech is just Vocaroo, and then to listen in like a phone or a Chromebook or whatever with some headphones. So podcast version, yeah, I'm excited about it. I hope you are too. Next up, we're going traditional with flashcards. Now, flashcards are an old school option, but there's a reason why they've lasted for so long. It can be a very helpful way to retain information to quiz yourself. And so, you can do it with note cards. They can just cut up blank pieces of printer paper in class, or you can pop them onto Canva and have them create beautiful cards that combine like color and visuals with the ideas. And in that way, you're kind of crossing back over toward sketch notes or toward a one-pager in that they can really try to make the information pop with how they convey it across modes on the flashcard, right? They can have a little visual example or almost like a little sketch note on the flashcard, but they don't have to. It just depends on the person. Some people will just want a note card with like a term on the cover and then the definition of the term on the back or whatever. It's up to the student making the flashcard, but cool to sort of show them that there's a variety of options if they take a look at the templates for flashcards on Canva. Similarly, an old standby would be to do some partner quizzing. Students who are feeling social, students who are kind of going to benefit from the energy of a partner might really enjoy choosing from the choice board and choosing partner quiz. This can also be combined with some of the other ones. Maybe a couple of kids did sketch notes versions and they're done, and other people are still reviewing and they want to combine that with partner quizzing. They can look at their own sketch notes and quiz each other, or look at each other's sketch notes and quiz each other. Same thing with any of them, really. After they've done some review, moving into partner quizzing could be fun and also very helpful to just keep them working on that recall and moving the information from their short-term memory over to the longer term as they keep trying to pluck it out of their brains over and over. All right, my friend. So in the blog post today, I'm popping in a slide that has all these 6 on a choice board if you'd like to project it in your classroom for review. Or you can make your own version of this with some of these options and some other options that you want. Or you can put this up on the board and say, hey, these 6 are great options, but maybe you have your own wonderful way to review that you love. That's fine too. My goal now is to just give you the choice over what works well for you. My friend, we've come to the end and almost the end of the year. Congratulations. I hope these last few days are going to be really good ones amongst all the busy for you, and I will see you again in the new year. Until next time, take care of yourself and stay creative.